Diane, who's got the will. Martin was sitting front row
Right
center.
up front, and the lights were just bouncing up.
To our eyes.
I could feel it.
Yeah.
The disco ball.
It really is. It really is.
Okay, well, good morning. This is Knox County Commissioners, June 12th, 2025 meeting. We have guests with us from the Mount Vernon Arts Convention or Consortium, and they're going to give us an update. So, Martin, thank you for being here. And as you're talking, introduce yourself, because people will be possibly watching now or if not later, and the people that you have with you. So thank you for being here.
Switch from the glasses to my readers, gotten to that point. Well, thank you. I want to thank the commissioners for having the Arts Consortium here today. Really appreciate it. I'd like to welcome Commissioner Kesey, Commissioner Lester to the commissioners table. We look forward to working with you and getting to know you better. Today, I would like to essentially go over what are the consortium's focuses and goals. For the new folk, who are we and what do we do? And I wanted to start, I think, by reading the mission statement because it's what I always come back to when we're looking for guidance, right? So that is to amplify the arts and entertainment in Mount Vernon so that we may enrich our community, strengthen our economy, cultivate meaningful relationships, and provide opportunities for our residents and our guests to enjoy our venues, our historical theaters, and our cultural experiences. In the last 4 years, I'll take us from January 21 to 25, just some fun statistics of just in that time. And our choice, which is a combination of all, that's our ticketing system, all our arts partners, we've sold 65,674 plus tickets, right about $1.45 million in sales. This is all the art partners. MVAC specific, about 30% of our budget goes back into the community. So we only hire local businesses, back to venues, individuals. What's unique to MVAC, and I'll come back to this number, is 41.9% come from out of county to see our shows. So we run about a 60-40, which we're one of the only organizations that do that. So tourism plays a big part in what we do as well as programming. We've done about 235 productions. That's our productions, other events that we support. That's about 566 staff days of production days. So we're a busy little group. And there are things we charge for as well, but we provide about 3,000 plus hours to our partners and to the community a year, which is what we were created for and what was that supposed to look like. And our vision. And this is important to me because I just love this. We're leading a rural renaissance. And I really glommed onto that. And I think we've actually done a really good job of doing that. A rural renaissance where Mount Vernon is recognized as an exceptional destination for our performing arts and cultural experiences. And it's interesting because just to give a little context, art's been going on here a long time, but these initiatives really just started 4 years ago to really get an idea of organization of what we could do. I have been blessed with a really, really great team, and I'd like to introduce them. I'm Martin Booker. I'm the Executive Director of the Arts Consortium. Megan Evans, right behind me. She's a Marketing Administration Manager. She also sits on the board of the CVB and is on the 250th committee. Marketing is a big aspect of what we do. She holds a lot down. Ian Ernsberger, he is my production operations manager. He sits on the Experience Mount Vernon board. He's on the events committee. So he runs point for the community corner on First Friday. And we come up underneath him, the team, and support that. He's also a board liaison for the Community Concert Association. They do 6 concerts at the Memorial a year. They bring about 500 people. They're membership based. They've been here a very long time, actually. And Scott Swingle. Scott Swingle's our technical manager. He oversees 3 venues. He also runs our box office. And we have built that up, our box office, so it's online. We now take calls and you can come in Monday through Thursday, like 10:30 to 2:30, and we're available. And it's an ebb and flow. Sometimes we're not so busy. Right now, we're on fire. We have Skaggs tickets, we have Leno tickets. We just did Stefano 9 to 5. So people are in and out, and
When you say you can come see us, where is that, Martin?
that is at 214 South Main.
Thank you.
We're across from Happy Bean.
Okay.
Coffee shop. So yes, so come on down, and we can take care of you. So that's our team. We have really worked hard together, and really built, what we've built is really Mount Vernon specific and county specific, right? How we service the venues, how we service the art partners and so on. I am excited to announce that we have now a multi-year MOU with the Knox Memorial. So we're managing entity for the Knox Memorial. We have an annual MOU with Ariel Foundation Park Conservancy. So we also are managing that, and I'll talk a little bit about that. So having these two things in place has really taken a couple years, to cultivate the relationships and make happen. I want to talk a little bit, because this is the Knox Memorial, about that, this really is the cultural beacon of Knox County. Okay, so we are providing spaces for laughter and music, community gatherings, and a little bit of that is, so last year we saw Christopher Titus, brought in about 800 people, really great show, providing comedy to the community. They really, as you see with the Leno tickets, people like comedy here. We also did a Beyond Labels show. We partnered with the Knox DD, and we brought 500 people in. It was a really neat show. We had a autistic blues player who was fantastic, and the first Down syndrome improv group in the country come in and do an improv. Brought about 500 people in, highlighted organizations. It was a really, really neat and bit of an eye-opening an event, so we're proud of that. We don't produce theater but one time a year, and that's for the Memorial Annual holiday. Last year we did A Christmas Story. I don't know if anybody saw that. It was a really, really good production. I've got a really great theater team behind me.
Christmas Carol.
Oh, what did I say?
Christmas.
Oh, Christmas Carol.
They're all looking.
Christmas Story was really good too.
Yeah, we did that.
Actually, we did A Christmas Story. Actually, my favorite was the radio version of, what was it?
It's a wonderful.
It's a Wonderful Life radio version. I just thought that the way that the staff brought that together, it's a lot of work. They did a really great job on that. We will be doing A Few Good Men this year. That's in honor of the veterans in the 100th Memorial 100th. We're really excited about that. We're working with Kenyon and MTV Arts to bring all of that together, and Veteran Services to really put a powerful production together. MTV Arts continues to bring their programs in about 3 a year. We saw Honk Jr., A Child Shall Lead, and Little Mermaid. Those are really wonderful programs that more on the educational program, the children's programming. We also, the memorial, it's important to understand, is we really serve the community on a broad level. So a lot of the stuff we're doing is not artistic. It's community events, it's Tavasi, dance company, Bradford Performing Arts Center, Inspire Dance, Daughters of the American Revolution. And those are big shows. Those dance groups will bring in 1,000 people to their shows. Parents, grandparents, everybody comes in. And we have a wonderful building, put a lot of money into the memorial. It looks great. We got a staff that runs it, and we really try not to miss a beat on that. Coming up for the Memorial 100th, it's really exciting. We had Brian Regan come in. He was a really great family-friendly artist. Saw about 800 tickets on that. We have Jay Leno coming in. I'll talk about that in just a minute. We have the Fall Cap 50th anniversary tour. And then I said, we'll do A Few Good Men. And this is in celebration of the Memorial 100th. A really interesting thing when we talk about Jay Leno, and Jason, this is for you. So when we talk about the big artists coming in, that is, understand that's a programming aspect, but it's also a bigger strategy for economic development. So I'll go back to that 60-40, we're being 40% of the people from out of county, and they're at our restaurants, we're making sure they understand that we have incredible green spaces. Or you're looking at our parks, we have a great downtown, and when people come here and they leave, they notice that. So that's a big aspect of what we do, is programming, and the memorial is the only not the only theater, the biggest theater in town that allows us to do this. So it's really an important aspect of what we do. But Jay Leno was interesting because we wanted to do something big for the 100th. And we wanted it to be more where the community could access this major artist, right? Because big artists are expensive and it just keeps getting more expensive. Through help of commissioners and Ariel Corporation, we were able to bring in Jay Leno. And I just wanted to say, it's really interesting. We haven't started marketing this at all. We sold 750 tickets. 80% of those roughly are in county, Jason.
Wow,
80%. So
we haven't seen that.
we have never seen that. So that it says it's the right artist. It makes the county feel special. That's a hard thing to do, by the way. It's not the easiest to find that. So we're really excited about what we do.
And this is before you started marketing it.
We haven't even started
But
marketing.
what's your expectations once
We
you
only
start
have,
marketing?
so it leaves 250 tickets.
I was gonna say, yeah.
So we have to change our strategy a little bit. So we will sell out of Leno fairly
Yeah,
quickly.
yeah.
So our marketing strategy will be the Memorial 100, right? So we'll have, Leno on our billboards and so on. We'll have Leno and Fog Hats coming and
The band Foghat.
the band Fog
Yeah.
Hat. Yeah, they're doing their Slow Ride 50th anniversary tour. So, and maybe the last.
And Martin, I guess, just so maybe Brenda, I know there probably knows this some, but until I'm trying to think the prior commissioners, it's probably been 8 or 9 years ago, obviously the county owns the building. And it had to be managed kind of by the county and the commissioner's office, which that's not necessarily what the government is here for, is to manage a theater. And so the prior commissioners have worked out and they ended up creating a memorial building board and did a lease with them and had them kind of manage the theater. And then it has evolved to the point that the Arts Consortium manages the theater
Right.
in a sense on behalf of the county through the memorial building board. And so that's obviously worked out. We wouldn't be doing these kinds of things if the county was the one that was trying to market and manage the theater. So this is kind of the relationship that has evolved. And then over the last 4 years, as the Arts Consortium was created and established, it's continued to evolve and it's working well. I think exponentially better than if we were still trying to do it on our own.
Yes.
Yeah, yes.
Well, it's great, we're 4 years in. We had our challenges starting, and now things are falling into place, relationships are good, and we're really moving forward. And then I will say that the one thing about the memorial, that's the staff behind me was raised in it. Right, so you're talking about 30 years of working in the memorial. Megan moved up from Columbus to work in the arts here. So the care of that building is pretty intense. It's definitely coveted within our room. So how do we do all of this? How do we put all this together? So we have a menu of services of what we offer. The major categories of that are marketing, administration, technical, box office, and production. Megan Evans runs point on our marketing. Pretty big job right now. It's the glue. It's that one thing everybody needs. So the documents that you all see, the annual reports, what I'm reading off of, there's the Mount Vernon Presents brochure, season brochure in there. All of that is designed in-house. You also see that we design a lot for Ariel Foundation part of, and it's not, and right now we just finished working on kiosks, so it's really what anybody throws at MVAC, we will figure out how to do. So that's content creation. Now you have all these acts going on. You have all these different websites. You've got Ariel, you've got Memorial, you've got ours. So we update all of those. And then Scott comes underneath that and provides IT for all of that. Actually, for a lot of people on that. Got computer problems with this stuff. And we're really building that, and it's something that we're proud of, and we're continuing to build. The administration. Ian Ernsberger runs point for the consortium on Ariel Foundation Park. Megan Evans runs point on the Knox Memorial. Now, what does that mean? That is from the inquiry on down. So we handle all the rentals. We have the inquiry of rentals. If they want a tour, we handle the tour. we handle the contracts, and we handle the staffing, right? For these two different venues. And we're kind of a one-shop stop. Come in and you can get it all done through us, which is really what we were created to do.
Megan, do you get many private individuals looking at using the Memorial Theater?
Yes, we do, many is subjective.
Yeah.
6 or 7 weddings a
Okay.
year. Weddings in the ballroom is our #1 private rental. We do a lot of meetings for Knox County departments.
Sure, yeah.
Mostly in the basement. Then we have various events that might come in or out of Veterans Hall. Veterans Hall is often rented in conjunction with theater. If a group like the upcoming Mrs. Ohio this weekend has several receptions happening.
For these private, so to speak, entities, is there a pricing board they go to look for price, or is it a must call to get pricing for
It's
this?
usually inquired to get pricing,
Okay.
but we do have set pricing for the venue rentals. I don't believe that's posted online.
Okay, just curious, thank you.
So Scott running he runs point on technical, pretty big job. So that's all the tech in the Woodward, that's all the tech in the Memorial. There's lots of lights, very extensive, you know, we refurbished all of that. And Aerial Foundation Park as well. Handles all the third-party rentals. So what does that mean? So when CCA and these different groups want to hold events and the musicians need things that we don't have, we have to acquire those from different places, set them up and monitor them. So he'll handle all of that. All the IT services and all the staffing of that as well, which does lean into our box office. I did cover that, our online sales, customer service, but Scott also runs point on that and handles staffing. And what does that mean? Well, when these events happen at the Memorial and the Woodward, the box office comes out of MBAC and into those facilities, right? So we move over and we run the box office out of that, and he manages that as well while running the tech and the events. We got a small but mighty team. We really, all of us handle a lot. And then I'll move on to the production quickly. Ian Ernsberger also will run point on that with me for the national tours, the regional programming. And then we all come together as a team a little bit more on community events, strategic planning, budgeting, and all of that. So, and some of these national tours are interesting. You know, we will work on getting an artist sometimes for a year and a half, you know, and he still won't come. And then we get very angry.
Then we get Leno in 3 weeks.
Then all of a sudden, you know, that happened. So these, what I was described is how we come to the, under the venues to support them more for admin services, how we come up under the partners, and I'll talk with that and support them through admin services. We also take that and then come up under Aerial Foundation and Knox Memorial. And what we do is program that, right? So, and from programming, we submit the programming concepts. We then put those into action, and we have tried to build annual things. So Aerial Foundation Park has 2 socials now. One at buttons the beginning and the end of the year, a summer kickoff, right? That's going to be annual, that Ricky Skaggs is playing. We're so excited. 4th of July, we have a family kids event that's going to be pretty big this year. It's free. And then we partner with the community as well. CES is going to have a great show at the park with McGuffey Lane, and that's going to be a free show. And then we also do county things. So we do the Knox County Symphony Children's Concert. We do the Knox Community Jazz Orchestra. That's every Memorial Weekend. So that's kind of how we come up under that. And when I talk about that, that's where we're in the parking lots, doing the parking, you know, managing all of that. Scott's running tech, those types of things. And the Memorial, same thing. We know we're going to do 3 to 4 annual shows per year. We know pretty much when we're going to do them. We're getting an idea of what we can do. Our annual holiday show. Next year, we're looking at, we don't have the rights yet, but doing White Christmas. I know it's highly, we're really,
They sold it in New York and they made it snow.
but we're gonna make it snow.
Yeah.
Yeah. but there's a lot of excitement around that. So we're looking to get the rights to that. We'll know in a few weeks if we get that. We know the Community Concert Association is going to come in. Are you familiar with who they are?
Mhm.
They've been here about 80 years. And the Community Concert Association is in different communities. It's an association, but they have a membership-based concert program. You can buy tickets to, and they'll have 6 shows. And so members can come and you can buy tickets, and the shows are pretty darn high level kind of stuff, from a Garth Brooks cover to an a cappella group. It just really matters. And they'll pack out the memorial. Tends to lean a little bit towards our older
Mhm.
group. But I like that, don't mind that, because it's a really wonderful thing to have come in. So, and then we have our MTV arts and our performing arts groups that are coming in. So right now, everything that we're doing, and I'll talk a little bit why that's important, is pretty much mapped out. As I sit here right now, my head's in 26, I'm not even in 25, because I got a good team. So now we have all of this going on and, somewhat of an organization. So how are we looking at things? And so we're working very closely, very, very closely with the CVB. And they're helping us get the word out regionally, as well as I can tell you where everybody's coming from. The CVB and Olivia now is helping us figure out where they're going and spending their money, the place their AI. So we know where you're coming from, when they coming from town, where are they going and what are they doing? And remember, this is, in my mind, it's always, is this right for Mount Vernon, right? So if you're thinking about what really bolsters tourism here and what brings people here, a great arts community is always great, right? But it's the green spaces, it's the parks, it's the trails. That's what really brings people to rural places like that. History, right? We learned that people they don't necessarily, where Leno brings them here, but when they come here, they're looking for that rural experience they can get here. And I really feel that this town just delivers that,
Yes.
right? On a natural level.
Yes, it does.
So we work with the CVB, really kind of understanding all of that so we can make more informed decisions about who we're bringing in. And the next I want to talk about is the art partners. It's the third thing of bringing the arts partners together. And this really came out of a Harvard Business Review article, right? That talked about smaller communities and rural communities. The arts groups have to start working together and maximizing resources, because every year arts just shrink, the funding shrinks. So you're always figuring out how to maximize that. So who are our art partners? Well, they're Ariel Foundation Park, Community Concert Association, Experience Mount Vernon, that handles all of the beautification downtown, the Knox Memorial, the Arts Consortium, MTV Arts, the big theater arts company in town, and the Woodward Opera House. Tomorrow morning is one of our quarterly meetings that we meet and we discuss many things. We have now met for 2 years quarterly. And what we really talk about is expanding shared marketing, right? How are we going to market our things? We'll discuss problems that we're having, that we're seeing. Sometimes ticket sales are tough. We need to figure out why, out of that came 2 years of a successful preview. So in February, all the arts groups will have a preview. We had it at the memorial, and they're singing, dancing videos, and we announce our seasons all together. Oh, did you? Oh, great. And also out of that, trying to help the sponsors and donors in town understand arts and where the money's going and how it works. We have done a unified sponsorship request for them. All right, so we've come together. So they're getting basically one document explaining everything that we need, why we need it, rather than 20 people coming in at one time. And the most important thing I think that really has come out of this is it was really messy when we first started, right? Because all the different organizations were all doing different things, and you would have Ariel Foundation Park and the Knox Memorial having a country show on the same night, right? Those kind of things. So we spent an enormous amount of time, and what we'll talk about tomorrow are the production calendars. When's happening when? Is there enough time to market it? When's that happening? and making sure that we're not stepping on each other. And that used to be such a big issue. It really was. And I don't know the last time that we've actually had that issue. And what does that culminate into is the Mount Vernon Presents, the Never for Sure, the season where we all come together and we give this offering. And that the Mount Vernon Presents season kind of came out of, if you notice, other small towns will have one theater. So they can kind of do a presents around that. And we have lots of assets. We have Woodward, Memorial. So we just decided we'll bring everybody together and do a Mount Vernon Presents. And it has seemed to work out really well.
Right.
And one other thing I also wanted to touch on is just a little bit about our funding and where that comes from. Our operating budget, the 2025 operating budget, comes from a grant from the Aerial Foundation. We get paid a fee to manage the memorial. We get paid a fee to manage Aerial Foundation Park, events, ticket proceeds, partnerships, sponsorships, and we do additional grants. Scott also writes grants for equipment and different things for the memorial. He just wrote a grant. We got moving lights for the memorial that really kind of an important aspect. We just painted the memorial stage. We got a grant to do that, so we just painted that. And this individual donor support. But beyond that, I'd like to take a moment and thank the team. Thank Jason. Jason's our president, our board president. And so we're working diligently for the community. And in the very beginning, it was the ARPA funds that allowed us to get off the ground, And so, now when you are getting to a point when you have Octa, the regional theater coming in, or different things like a major car show, they're able to come in to Mount Vernon because we have an organization that can literally put it all together and understands not only what the venues need, but the community. What is the bandwidth of the community? Working together, and how do we do it? So right now, I'm really pleased to say it's, when I first came in here, it was, and we're gonna do this, and it was all just a plan. And as we sit here, it's been, I'm humbled and proud to have had the opportunity to have just to build a legacy in the community through your support. And you got a team that really cares and will not let you down. So thank you.
And I agree with you on that. Your team has done a wonderful job, and I was also at your rollout and all that. And one of the things that you did at that session was that you had Courtney, is that right?
DeCosco, yeah.
Yeah, DeCosco do a skit. And then later on, when they actually performed that down into Woodward, my wife happened to be there with Career Center students for that performance. And she said there were kids upset that Courtney was making the wrong decisions during that time, or the judge was. So yeah, it was quite an event, and it made an impact on those kids that were there for that. So that was great. And all of you guys have really been very active in the community, and we appreciate that. We appreciate Jason too.
And then you better than last year doing that. Yes. Yes, Jason, good job. Good job, you team.
And I think
Awesome.
commissioners, the reason, a decision was made in the past to provide some ARPA funding to the consortium was really, that was one of the allowable expenditures, was to kind of bring back your arts community post-COVID and get the theaters back up and running, and we helped fund that to get some.
As Martin knows, when I first joined the Woodward board, there was 4 people trying to run the Woodward.
Right.
And now we've all kind of joined as one board, the Arts Consortium, and everybody is one board now, which makes it a lot easier. And I think a lot of that was with what you do. And I think people finally realize we don't need 4 different entities in the Woodward trying to figure out what we're doing there. So I thank you on my behalf for the Woodward that you guys got everything consolidated
They're
there.
coordinating everything like that. So it's a win for the community. Instead of having all these competing entities, everybody wants the arts. When we work together, we get the arts, right?
Right. And Mount Vernon has a lot of arts.
Yes.
It's an oddly proportional amount of arts and talented people, you know, I mean, we're working so hard, and I gotta tell you, we have a community that I feel that's just untapped of talent and so on. So as we build and we include and bring people in, I don't know, there's,
And I will thank you personally, because I can remember at one time there was 3 things going on the same night in Mount Vernon. We had something at the Foundation Park, you had something at the Memorial, and you had something at the Woodward. Now, and I walked into Woodward, I'm like, well, there's 2 other events going on in Mount Vernon.
it was challenging.
Yeah.
There's nothing when you want something, so it's good to spread it out. you know.
I think one thing from the county perspective that's been really beneficial with the relationship is, I think for us that grew up in the community, the memorial building was treated as a museum.
Yeah.
Don't touch anything. There were velvet ropes up. You could go in the theater, you could look somewhere, but you weren't allowed. You know, it's owned by the people
Yeah.
of Knox County. And so it's 100 years. And I think now the building is being used to its full capacity, that the Veterans Hall is being used, the ballroom is being used, you know, the basement, the theater. So I think that was the commissioner's objective from the very beginning, was to let the people use the building. And so that has certainly been accomplished by lots of things going on over there, which is what we really wanted to see from the beginning, was people using the building.
We'll be hosting the Ohio, it's called OCTA, the Ohio Community Theater Association yearly conference over Labor Day weekend. So we'll have several hundred theater folks that we know very well coming in from all over Ohio. We had the board meeting in May to give the representatives from these theaters an opportunity to see the town and see the memorial, and they could not have said nicer. They're going to be using every square foot of that building for those 3 days. Yeah, we're gonna be having the dinner at the Woodward, so they'll get a chance to see both buildings. And they just felt like the town and its resources and its theater were outstanding. They've already booked us to have a regional competition next year, and they're already talking about 27.
Good for you. Yeah.
So,
These we're excited about, right? Because this, now they're coming in, you know, purely because of what we build, right? And so we can support it. But they do come in, it's not overstated to say, wow, this is really amazing. Forget it when they see the Woodward, you know, that's like a whole different thing. And we got the restaurants downtown, hotel, I don't know.
Well, as you guys
things
know,
right.
word of mouth's your best advertisement, so.
I still have on my refrigerator, the magnet with the sound of music over 20 years ago, the Mount Vernon Players, our family. all did it.
Really? Oh, that's
Yes.
amazing. Okay.
Because those are special moments you
Yeah.
never forget.
Absolutely, absolutely. I really think MTV Arts gift to the community in terms of really just what they do education wise, like these children's shows. Even the kids we hire right now, all came up through MTV Arts, you know,
but we get basically all of our staff.
yeah.
members.
So, you know, we've had all these other organizations. I don't want anybody to think by any shape or form that the consortium is above any other organization, right? What we really are is a central nerve now, where all the information runs through, where people can call and get information, and we can help these other organizations flourish, you know, Experience Mount Vernon. What a wonderful thing. They're really on top of their game downtown Mount Vernon. So anything that we can do, so. Thank you.
Much appreciated.
And if,
Thank you, guys.
and if you need to coordinate any of the Amish communities to have the guests, the art guests coming in, be able to milk goats, we could probably get that arranged. That would be
Let's do
something
it.
they wouldn't get in any of the major cities.
Right. Well, it's interesting too, we're surrounded by tourism, so, you know, Millersburg, I believe is the highest traveled place in the summer in the country,
Sure.
right?
The Amish country,
In the
sure.
Amish country, so there's a lot going on here that can be coordinated back. Even the Amish got into entertainment now, have you seen that's all, they've always.
Yeah, they have.
I've seen the show on TV, the Amish Mafia, but
Yeah,
I've never.
Show in the Woodward, I always picture, when I first saw this, what a jewel, but I could picture the whole West, you know.
Yeah, that's great.
7 brides for 7 brothers, or something.
And get your gun.
And yeah, and get you got, yeah, exactly.
Are you a theater person? Is
I
that?
love
Oh, boy.
Yes, you're getting excited just hearing. all
She
that.
actually came from Broadway, didn't
I was in Melbourne for a season of it.
Well,
Shameless plugs, 9 to 5 at the Woodward Opera House.
Right now.
Oh,
We might be.
Megan and Ian are starring in it. They're starring in that.
Fantastic. So when are the dates for that?
Like 13.
Okay.
And actually, I think in your folders, there's a little card that you will see both
Oh,
Ian and I.
this?
I am not the Dolly
Is
Parton.
that what that-
Oh, this?
It's a smaller one, so.
Yeah, it's a
This
little
one?
one, but he's tied to a chair.
Oh, that, yeah.
I am the
Yeah, it
boss.
is in there. It's in there sideways.
Brenda, if
Yeah,
you ever
so-
want to come down and talk theater.
There you
go.
It gives me a break.
Love
They will
food.
talk theater till the day is on.
it? When is Fog Hat?
October 25th.
Is it on the brochure? I looked, is it?
It actually is now. We did a reprint of the brochure as soon as we booked that out, so it should be in that.
In this brochure?
Yeah.
We just haven't announced
Oh,
yet.
yes, say October 25th.
So.
Yeah.
But we put it in.
We will be formally announcing in a week and a
Oh,
half.
this one, okay.
I'm
Right
really,
after Scott.
That's interesting. Of course, that's my
yeah,
era of entertainment, Fog Hat.
I think it's a bit
Dating
more.
myself now, I guess, right?
Gigi. You know, I think that's the first one that she's been like,
Good. So if people want to find out what events are going
Yeah.
on,
Well,
your
it's not
website.
Fog
is-
Hat. These
so,
are all
again,
public.
we're at
No.
214 South Main,
Really?
14 South Main. Our website is mvac.org, Operating Arts Consortium, mvac.org. You can buy any tickets, see any events that are happening on that site.
And your hours.
mvac.
Slow
Your
ride.
hours during the week,
Okay.
Monday through Friday, or
Friday, the office is closed usually because
Okay.
we're going into
You're a
events for the
dirty
weekend. So we're switching to that.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, we have our quarterly meeting, office hours 10:30 to 2:30 to buy tickets.
Okay.
And we're in the office from 9 to 3. If you have questions.
okay, yes.
9 a.m.
I grew up on.
9 AM.
I got a corner
Or-
little
okay.
pill or.
And that's for tickets too? You
Yes.
can say off hours.
Walk in to take it.
Oh, my
And that's for all
God.
tickets mostly, right?
Huge information.
So I think the only people we're not doing tickets for is the Mount Vernon Music and Arts Festival, which I don't even think I said, which is a partner as well,
Right.
Okay,
right? And so they kind of have their ticket with Craig.
That's really well attended as well.
It's one of the only other things that brings in that out of county. I wish I had the numbers last year. It was 15,000 people. They brought in a lot. Our hotels were booked. You know, we're all playing the game, you know, and that.
Made a festival.
Right, it's exactly like that. So, yeah.
Yeah.
maybe you said it,
Seen that.
and I didn't, cognitively, hear it. Phone number? Did you say the phone number?
I did not say.
740-462-4278.
So it's not one of those, 740 art, MBO.
It's for art, 740 for
Art.
Yeah, 740-462-4 art.
For art,
Yes.
okay. Okay. Good. Well, we appreciate you coming in. It's always exciting to have you here. And you certainly have amped up the Knox County community with your endeavors, and we appreciate having you.
Yeah, thank you. Great job. Great job. Keep up the good work.
Jason,
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
great job. Thank
And
you.
if you guys ever need anything, please call,
Encore.
even if it's something you're like, I wonder
Sorry,
if the
that's why.
consortium could. It's like, probably could.
Two
So,
originals died, but they were replaced. At least it's not a tricky
We
thing.
gotta get our tickets to Jason.
Oh, I-
in fact,
great.
right?
yeah.
We're going.
Yeah, it's gonna be sold out before we know.
You want us to?
I definitely missed the public box.
I think we'd like that.
Sport.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll come by.
Okay.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank
all.
you. Nice.
Yeah, what do you guys think?
Okay, Commissioners, we have approved the bid and contract documents for the county engineer Howard Danville Road Bridge project. It's ready to go.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And do these require multiple signatures or just Bill?
Bill and you. Did you sign them?
Yeah, you've got a flag from me, right?
Yep.
Three sets, Bill.
Great.
Bill?
Yeah, just Bill, he's the same, yes. There we go. Look at those. Okay, then we have a utility permit for Knox Energy Co-op. This is Apple Valley Drive in Howard Township.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, then we have the Knox County Probate Court, Juvenile Court just submitted their 2024 annual report to you. And there's a copy for each one of you.
I just started reviewing it. Did
But
you
it
look
really,
it
all
through,
we do
Jason?
is we collected, entered into the record that they submitted it, but you'll get a copy. So they don't need to approve it, right?
Just pass a resolution.
Pass resolution
Yes.
that we received it.
They have to submit it according to ORC.
Okay.
Okay, motion.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
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 So here's your copy, Brenda, and then each commissioner's copy.
Did you have anything you wanted to say about?
No, I just started reviewing it actually this morning, so I don't. Haven't got that far into it yet. But. It looks like everything is kind of, flat, you know, it doesn't look like a lot of changes if I look at the graphs and stuff on there, so.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, just in briefly, when I browse through it.
So if anyone in the public wanted to see that, is that on the probation site?
Juvenile court.
I'm not.
But the probate juvenile court,
They do their own
They
website.
need
You'd
to
have to look.
contact, it's a public record, they could contact us for it, or they could contact the
Okay.
court directly and get a copy of it.
yeah, and this is the 2024 report. Did we pass that?
Yes.
Penny? Okay.
You did. Now we have, this is a long time in the works, but we have an advertisement for public notice. This is for, or not public notice, but advertisement for requests and proposals. So it's an RFP for acceptance of processing of payments for county expenses. So what this really relates to, commissioners, is starting back in 23, I think we began working on this late in 23 with the prosecutor's office, and they've got this ready to go, but it really is, we put this out for proposal for companies that will process credit card payments. We have lots of offices throughout the county that want to have the ability to take credit card right now. You know, we can do that at our water wastewater office, out at our animal shelter. But we want to be able to do that. The courts want to be able to accept that.
And we will do that all under one
That's
company,
correct.
correct?
That's what this is putting it out to be able to offer that.
And we will
under one
negotiate
service.
the charge.
That's
the
correct.
Percentage charge.
So
that they
what
give us.
this RFP does, they don't necessarily give us a price back for those services, but they give us the qualifications
Right.
of their services, and then we will review those and choose the vendor that we
Right.
would like to go with. So this is just allowing us to
Just shop it.
that out and let me receive those
Yeah.
proposals back.
It's
That's correct.
motion to approve.
Second.
And all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay,
And that is something that we've been working on
We
for
have-
quite some time and
and the offices are patiently waiting to get that done, so.
Everybody uses that cell phone thing nowadays, you know.
Yeah, in ours, there's certain requirements, like the county level, there's often fees associated, but the county does not collect any of those fees. That
Right.
just goes to the vendor that provides the
Right,
service. We
right.
only receive whatever the fee or the penalty or whatever it is that somebody would be paid. We don't get any of the.
But it
associated.
still affects your total income because.
That's correct, but we don't even see it. The fee part goes right to the credit card vendor, and then we just receive what would be ours.
But for instance, a $10 ticket, you're still gonna get charged 1.5 to 3%.
That's correct, you could, yes.
So you're gonna lose 3% of,
Well, we wouldn't, so
We
we
won't.
still get our 10, and whatever that fee is, it goes on top of the 10, and that goes to the.
so it's an addition to
That's
the,
correct.
the charge.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, we're not allowed to reduce that.
Yeah.
No, well,
By
you
state
can't
law.
reduce
right.
it, but you could lose money. if you
Right,
don't.
and we won't lose it, but that's how you gotta make sure it's set up, that's correct, yeah.
Thank you.
And then we have advertisement for public notice for a public hearing pursuant to ORC 709.03. This was to discuss the regular annexation on behalf of Jeffrey Abrams, attorney at law for Kidwell, and this is for that Kathy Byers. So this is what we accepted Tuesday, and now this is advertising to actually do a public, this one requires a public hearing.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Those figures say aye.
Aye.
And then, commissioners, we have one item to add, and this is the note purchase agreement for the escrow. So this allows us to, on the $2.5 million note for the purchase and rehab of the building for transit and other county operations at Heartland Park. This you're signing here is so we can put this out next week, that bond council can put this out to solicit bids from banks on an interest rate. And then bond council will be in here on the 24th to actually present everything and have you sign the official documents.
Take a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Those figures say aye.
Aye.
And I flagged these not as well as Penny does, but I flagged them for each of you to sign there.
Yeah, you can't miss your flags.
And while you're signing those, just a couple things I'm gonna pass down. We received this from the Army Corps of Engineers. And it just says that they're gonna be doing a let's see, a mitigation bank prospectus, and this looks like it's down near Wahonda, so they're just notifying us. I'll pass this down to you. It has some maps on it. I thought you might want to just look at it in case constituent called you and had a question or something. It's the Army Corps Engineer project that's going on down there in the future.
We really don't have any approval. or-
We don't, I just let you see it so you know where
Yeah.
it's going on if we get a call. It looks like it's a little bit of Knox County area, so. And then we also had a request, so Ohio CDBG, that's a lot of our, obviously, grants that we get, like we're dealing with for Danville right now for their water infrastructure project, and we've done lots of ADA projects. That's one of those areas that potentially could get hit pretty hard in the budget.
The inside mill.
And so the state of Ohio, the Ohio CDBG coalition is just asking for counties to voice support to that, to say, hey, this does really impact counties, and they would like us to submit some projects that have had economic impact.
Sure.
Or infrastructure impact to our communities, specifically, certainly the village of Danville, the village of Martinsburg has seen a lot of water fates that they would not have been able to afford on their own. And so really, if you're in approval, Penny and I can submit on your behalf, just that Knox County supports that, and list our, give them some projects that we've done. If you're,
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
you want them to pass something on that, Penny, to, yeah, okay, we'll take care of getting that done. And I think here's the bills, Brenda. I think that's all I have for you today. I said at 11 o'clock. We do have Frederick County EMS is coming in. If you remember some time ago, we talked a little bit about them wanting to talk about a financing option for a new ambulance.
Yeah.
And so how they were able to get some grants, how the interest rates impacted if the county's been not help financially, but help with the backing of that. So Chip will be here at 11. as
Did we
well
get
as-
the adjustments made to that where one at a time or
We
only?
haven't done anything yet because we haven't really decided whether you want to do anything. So they're gonna come in with the energy co-op, Breakdown UMass, and then Chip to kind of just talk about, because it was a little confusing to us.
Right.
All of us, what that process was. So they're all gonna be here at 11. So what we'll probably do, Andrew, is just table this because I think Chip was in court. Then we want to wait, start at 11. So we'll just, if you guys are good, we'll pause the meeting and come back
There's
at 11 o'clock.
Well, we could also,
Come on in, Rick.
Unless you guys have some things you.
what, did you have anything else to share with us?
No,
Jason?
that's all I have.
We're waiting on everyone.
Yeah. And then, did you have anything you want to share with the
Just want to
commissioners?
say to everybody, you gentlemen, happy Father's Day.
Yeah,
It's Father's Day weekend, so for sure, fathers out there.
and then, I went, up on the roof, yesterday with Todd. to look down at our roof that's being put on the back and it's a slow process. And then talking with the contractor, their, the roof itself being curved and standing seam, it's in process of being built. But that's gonna be like 9 weeks before that can be done. And then there was one other thing that was being worked on, and it was like, okay, that was gonna be 2 months for that, so I see the electricians are out there today.
Yeah, they're gonna
beginning
just
to
put a
do-
temporary roof, putting a rubber membrane roof on that so they can continue with everything else, dry everything in. The issue with that, when we met yesterday, that sloped roof and the panels that go on the brick,
Mhm.
those all had to be actually field measured once everything else was done. They couldn't order those in advance. They had to measure them once the structure was built to get an exact size. So I think they said yesterday, Bill, the roof could be 4 to 6 weeks.
Or
That's what
they
they
said, they were saying 9,
Yeah.
yeah, so that's
So-
good.
The panels.
And
I think
that's
are
the roof,
probably
right?
A couple months, but that would, the
Okay.
panels on the brick would be the last thing, and we'd probably have the building could be back, open back up. You may see too, we're gonna put some red X's with tape on the windows back there that are gonna be, those are the old windows we didn't replace that we're gonna cover. So if you see any red X's back there, then
Can't fly in.
On the windows,
They're
yeah.
gonna be, those will be covered with panels.
Commissioner Person won't fly in.
Yeah, don't want me to do that. And then we did go down to Heartland Park at the building where the Knox County Transit will be moving into and toured it once again to see what things we need to tear out of the building so that we can go ahead and have people build it back to the way that transit wants it. We hope to have numbers for that here in a week too.
Jason, can we have Brian come in? See you here.
No, he's not.
Okay, I saw
Yeah.
the dog monthly report.
Oh, we were, those, they're not coming today, so we just entered those and you have those in.
I
your
have,
hand if
I have them.
Yeah, in place of them, the tent coming in, they just, I asked them to submit the 911 report and that report to you.
Yeah.
Because we were backed up today with stuff.
Yeah, do you want to go over the 911 report, Eric?
No, I'm good.
Well, I thought we have 10 minutes, we could either go on pause or we can.
We can
get-
pause.
Okay, so at this time, we'll pause for 8 minutes, come back up at 11 o'clock. And talk about doing some business with our friends up north.
Who's that?
The boys from Freddie. Them boys.
wait a second, we're not on
Okay.
air
We're
yet.
not on air.
Oh,
Are
wait.
we now? Okay.
Yeah, practice.
Yes. So, well, welcome back to the Knox County Commission.
Are we on air?
Session. We do have the Fredericktown EMS and the Consolidated Electric Finance discussion is what we'll be doing. Chip McConville, the Knox County Prosecutor, will be joining us shortly, but we're going to go ahead and get started before he gets here on this discussion. And as you wanted to go ahead and start introducing yourself, now you can go ahead.
Thank you. My name's Dan Boycel, and I'm the Vice President of Government and Community Affairs for Consolidated Cooperative and in charge of our revolving loan fund that we have.
Okay, you.
I'm Brad Ebersol, also with Consolidated Cooperative. I'm the Economic Development Executive.
Rick Lanuza, Chief of Fredericktown EMS.
And we had the privilege of Robin to be here with.
Yeah,
So Robin, you want to introduce yourself?
yeah, I'm Robin Sampson. I'm the budget analyst for the commissioners, but I'm also the clerk at Fredericktown EMS.
Perfect. Well, welcome, all of you, and we'll turn it over to you for you guys to do your presentation to the commissioners.
I mean, you want me to start with the brief?
Sure.
So Dan and I had met one day on a different project and we were talking and he started explaining the revolving loan process. So we had started down the process of doing the application, getting it all filed, and is, I'm sure Chip has made you folks aware, it is very unique with the EMS districts and fire districts that we cannot get a loan. So this process came to an abrupt halt when it was determined it was a loan and couldn't be structured as a lease purchase or something like that. So that's kind of how this all really kind of came about. I will let Dan.
But once you would talk about what are you buying?
Oh, I'm sorry. So yeah, so we're 2.5 years ago, we ordered a new ambulance, and since COVID, it's been in the process of, like I said, taking about 2.5 years, and I just received word on my way here that it'll actually be 3 years from the time we ordered it till the time we expect to get it now. So the latest update is to probably really expect our truck in November.
Of this year.
Of this year, yeah. So the total cost for that truck is $320,302. And that will be a 2025, could even be a 2026 at that point.
And Rick, that's
Chassis.
before you equip it with.
That is
stuff.
before we.
That's just the raw chassis, no
Yes, sir.
equipment, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
We have the new cot that goes in it. We have the load system. We have the heart monitors, all that to go in it. But yes, that is.
Some of that
the-
transferable from the.
Some of it is, yes, sir. So, yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So how we got involved? As Consolidated, we've been a partner at Fredericktown for years and years with economic development that, in fact, we've started our revolving loan fund back in 1998, back a century ago, in Fredericktown with a grant and a loan process that went to Fredericktown to do some sewer work in the Kokosing area. Why we can do that. As Consolidated Cooperative, we're a borrower, we're an electric cooperative and a borrower of our US fund, or our utility services funds, which is through USDA. USDA has what they call a red light program, which is Rural Economic Development and a loan and grant program. Red light. So that's how that comes out. And with that, now there's a small, I didn't want to do a PowerPoint, so you've got that in front of you. But the grant portion is what we're talking about here. They got loans, which is up to $2 million. We are just an intermediary because we take loans from our US. So they allow us to be an intermediary. And so with that, we have previously done a grant from them again in 1998. That money gets loaned out. It's a grant to us as the intermediary. We loan it out to the final party. They pay it back to us. We loan it out at 0% interest. It gets paid back to us and funds our revolving loan fund, which we have about $500,000 in that fund total from that original loan. So we've got availability to access those funds. We were talking about the need. What a great partner to be if they could have a 0% loan over 10 years. That would help them. It would also then feed back into our revolving loan fund, which then we loan back out. We've got 3 or 4 loans out currently.
Which is the same thing we do, commissioners.
Sure.
Yeah, we
So-
have a revolving loan fund that we can loan out at low interest.
So a brief explanation for me.
Sure.
Why shouldn't I be concerned that a utility company is fronting the money for an EMS vehicle? You are part of a utility cooperative, right?
We're not part, we are a utility.
So why wouldn't I be concerned that a utility cooperative is fronting the money for a
Why?
government type unit?
I don't know why you would be.
I'm asking it.
Yeah.
It sends an alarm off in my head. I don't know why, but it kind of does. I don't,
Yeah,
anytime I hear cooperative and utility, I get concerned. I
We've
mean,
been in business as an electric utility.
I'm not saying I'm denying
No,
this. I'm
no.
concerned that.
That's fine. And that's a good question. I just.
So you basically do this as a community.
Yes.
You're as the cooperative. through-
Correct.
And
community
this is the
initiatives.
nexus that the federal government has set up for the law.
Yeah.
USDA, for whatever reason,
Yeah,
has sent these out through the electric co-op.
Correct.
yeah.
So electric utilities, oh gosh, I think tribal lands, there's a few that
Yeah.
that they allow to access these funds. We're just one of those groups that are allowed to access those funds.
Yeah.
We can leave them there, and in fact, a majority of the co-ops in the nation don't participate in a program like this. Iowa.
I appreciate you being
stick
here.
through that.
I just, like I
Yeah,
said,
that's-
the alarm, when you hear utility, whether it be gas, electric,
Sure.
oil, and then you hear co-op.
So-
There's a lot of,
A little bit about.
I don't have that alarm, so I'm not sure.
Yeah,
what's
so
going on.
a little bit about the co-op. We're owned by our members.
right,
Run by a 9-member board. That's by district. We've covered 20,000 residences at the moment in Delaware, Morrow, and a little bit into Knox County, right up to Fredericktown and into Fredericktown. So that's.
so is this a
primary.
regional co-op or is this everywhere co-op that?
So our co-op just covers, we're in 11 counties,
11, okay,
but part of that is like Knox County. We're just in a sliver of
right,
Knox County.
sure, okay.
Primarily Morrow County and Delaware County.
Okay.
And we've been at, 1936, when we first got our start, through Roosevelt's program and the New Deal. So
Yeah.
that's how we got started. Again, we're run by a board. We're not run by PUCO
Right.
at all. So our rates are set by our board, which are members, just like a lot of other things.
Thank you.
Oh, no worries, no worries. So, the second or third slide in there does show how that money kind of flows of the grant from. So there's a competitive application process. And then if there's 4 rounds, once every quarter, this last goes with their fiscal year, the federal government's fiscal year. So June 30th, 30 days, 30th, June 30th is the final application deadline. So.
So Rick, do they handle the application, everything for you? Is that something? you
Yeah,
have?
so they had a grant writer that was doing the application. I would feed them whatever information.
You gave them information, they did the
Yeah.
work. Good,
Yep.
thank you.
Yeah, and we've only done this once, so we're not professionals at it at all. But we found a grant writer from Iowa,
Sure.
and he is a professional because Iowa, if you look at where all these grants go to, a majority of them go to Iowa and South Dakota, just because that's the way.
They're
They're
very
willing to-
active in the program.
Right, yeah.
Very
On a
active.
basis.
Well, like I say,
So
would
we
you rather
leverage our-
go to a heart surgeon that does 1 a day or one that does 10 a day?
Exactly.
So question I have for Chip then, so I guess down to the bare bones on this, so
Please
if they got the grant.
Yeah.
The co-op got the grant, they can't loan it to EMS, is that the
Correct.
issue of why we're here? So they. would
That's
have
the
to-
issue of why we're here. And let me like fill you all in about how this works. As a political subdivision, you are only given the powers that the legislature explicitly gives you. Doesn't matter if you're a county, village, township, joint ambulance district, you only get the things that the legislature gives you explicitly. Getting a loan is not one of those things. Townships, joint fire districts, those kind of things, those entities cannot go and get a bank loan. So it's got to be, there's got to be a flow through with a bond on it And I think the way that we've talked about this process is the county would issue a bond for
Bond.
that amount. And then the district would pay the debt service on the bond.
Is there a possibility, you said it's competitive grant, that you apply and you don't get it?
Big possibility. Yeah.
Okay,
Now, yes, that's the short answer.
Okay.
It will reapply. And it would be in the new fiscal year for them, and I'm not sure what the farm bill has laid out for this grant program in the new farm bill.
So if this fails, Rick, what do you do for funds or an ambulance that's gonna be due here in November?
So we have, and Robin can talk to it a little bit more also, but we've used Republic First National. It's a financing company. It's a municipal financing company out of Indiana or Illinois. Indiana. And we've used those. We found them 5 or 6 years ago. And I know several of the other agencies have used them. They were very easy to work with and all that, but it's 6% interest.
So if this
Versus
would
0%.
get, if this would get turned down, that's an alternative?
Yes, sir.
Could you switch back to them and let them reapply after you got the funds?
So, yes.
Like a
we
refinance?
thought that
Or-
potentially we were expecting the truck initially, as I told you, July or August. So we wouldn't have had, more than likely, we wouldn't have had the funding from the USDA yet. So we would have had to initially go
Finance
with
it.
Republic and then pay that off. Well, then we would have had a early payoff penalty and all that, but it's still far better than.
Sure, yeah.
So.
But
so
the
this
opportunity
would
to
maybe
switch
buy
over,
us some more time.
yeah, the opportunity to switch over at some point in time to them is there.
Only until we
Uh,
receive the vehicle.
Correct.
Correct. But I guess I'm still a little confused going, if they receive the money and you have the money, how does the money get to EMS? So do they have to do a bond then, check to get, the county has to do a bond or what, if the
Yeah, I
money's
think that-
there?
It would enter our bond that bad, wouldn't it?
I'm sorry?
A bond through us,
Yeah,
Because we would loan them, that loan then would go to the county.
right?
So
And
we
then
do a
you would
0%,
pay us that.
we do a 0% bond, is that basically, Chip, what we would do? A zero interest bond?
now you're in above my pay grade, Jason.
Or are they able to grant the money to the county and then we flow the money back?
I think that's how it would be done.
Just a flow, not a loan
Yeah,
back,
not a
yeah.
loan back, but just the money would come into the county and then we would submit the money to cause we could do that loan. Right, that's where it would show up on our books as a liability, is the loan would be with us for 0% interest, is that
Correct.
correct?
And we'd have to have some kind of collateral with that.
Jason,
yeah. Jason's, so.
Jason's-
Cause that seems like that's basic logical.
it's just a flow,
The money
right?
would
Just a
come to
money
the
flow.
county, But we would.
That's
we
my
have to do
understanding.
We've gotta do a note or a loan or something with
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
So the bond,
Percent, but the collateral is the county, is that basically our financial?
so the bond would be to the county for 0%. We would just flow the money to Frederick County MS. Is that correct?
Our loan.
Yeah, it wouldn't need to be a bond.
It's just a loan.
Cause we can do loans,
Right.
right, I mean, we can do a loan, right?
Most county loans are covered by a bond though.
Yeah.
So we'd have to work out those pieces.
Did we talk about, I know we'd mentioned, Chip, the language in one of these agreements that we wouldn't have townships piling up on the Board of Commissioners for a deal like this, that we would only do one at a time until it was complete.
Yeah, I mean, if you enter into a resolution to do this, you can put limits on it. You
Okay.
can say, we're only gonna finance so much, we're only gonna do one at a time. You can put whatever.
Okay,
you know,
so that
fences
ability is
around
still
it.
there.
And I think, Robin, you speak this, I think it was probably about $60,000 savings to the EMS, right, over a
Yeah.
5-year period or a 10-year period.
Depending on.
Yeah.
How long the term?
Depending on the rate at the time, it could be.
10,000 a year, maybe,
Yeah.
however long you're.
Yeah.
And something, we had discussed this yesterday too, as far as if we do have to get, a lease to own through Republic first. can we in fact use that money to pay that off? Is there stipulations that we can't pay off a debt with that money? Right?
Yeah, with your loan, if they had,
Yes.
due to timing, if they had to get this loan as the bridge. Can they get the grant?
Not once they
Pay that
get the
off.
vehicle.
I
they're
think
saying.
not once it gets.
So if they get the vehicle, they're out.
Okay.
If we're awarded the grant,
Once we get it awarded, which would be July.
then we could receive the vehicle. So we could receive the vehicle if we're awarded. We just can't take possession of a vehicle before there was that chance of us getting awarded.
And we're talking November to get the vehicle.
That is the latest as of 10:20 on my drive down.
Yeah. So the loan, this loan from the bank wouldn't be activated until late October.
Correct. And any agreement with you folks wouldn't be activated until we knew if we
Yeah,
were
the other way.
receiving the grant or not.
So this is your first time, so you really don't have.
The second time, our first one was 1998.
Oh, okay. So
I was there, but I wasn't involved with it.
if you were to make an assumption, how you feel about the.
Our consultant thought it was pretty
Pretty
good
solid.
that we would get it. Only because there's a lot of people backing out of doing this right now because they're not sure of what the government's gonna
Yeah,
do.
what kind of
Huh,
fund they're
gee
gonna
whiz.
get.
And, but so he said it might not be as competitive, especially being there's still money in the pot,
Yeah,
which is unusual for this time of year.
and the time of approval, about how long once you would
It
apply?
takes 30 days, 60 days,
Okay.
so it's a government work.
We're committed for the.
That's odd
purpose
for
of
government.
Getting us your loans.
Yes.
I thought you'd say 6
Well,
months.
and why are we involved? It helps our member, it helps our community.
Yeah,
That's part of our mission as a co-op, which is maybe different than an investor owned, which as investors our worry truly is about our,
income.
our community and how we can better our places we live, so.
Chip, is this something
Commissioner, I
we
think
talk
that's-
to Allison about?
We might.
So anyway, the purpose of our meeting today is just to say this is a possibility. And then do you need our resolution before you apply?
No.
Okay.
We have a resolution from our board
Okay,
that says that they would go forward with the grant application to Knox County or Fredericktown, because at that time, when they made this resolution, it was kind of up in the air. But, so we'll go ahead and, go ahead with the application and finalize that application the next week, because it has to be, submitted in 2 weeks. So,
I can tell you, my personal opinion is anytime we can help the county and the people that live in the county and the villages, and it doesn't put us in harm's way,
I agree.
I think it's a great thing for the commissioners, the county commissioners to do that, so.
And that's our board's
Yeah.
thought also, how we can help and not put our board or our members' money in harm's way.
Right.
And with a grant like this, we're not on the hook for the grant. If a grant goes under, we're not, since it's a grant, we're not
Right.
on the hook for it. It's a government grant.
Yeah, I think part of our
It's like
job is anytime we can help.
$60,000 for the community, which is amazing.
If they could do
Thank
something
you
with
for
it,
being
so.
willing to do this.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
And we're
we just,
seeing $60,000 of our members' money in so the actual grant will be for $260,000. A maximum is 300. The grant will be for 260. We'll put 20% in ourselves.
Right.
is that a USA,
60,000.
is that a USDA requirement?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
So we put matching money in to the grant, which is then, or matching the grant, which is put into the loan. It does come back to us in the loan fund. And eventually, if we ever close that loan fund, that money does come out. But it is an investment of our members' money into the community.
Right.
so our investment county-wise though on the hook is 80% of that.
Yeah,
Or
260,000.
You're
The whole amount.
you're on the
You gotta pay.
hook for the whole
Okay,
300.
even though you're putting 60 in,
Cause they get it
Yeah.
back when it's paid off.
when it's paid, okay.
It's 5 years, you said, right, Rick?
5 to 7, whatever the commissioners.
Whatever depreciation.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, at one point I heard 10 years.
Well,
It's up to 10 years.
Yes.
Because
Okay,
it's also eligible, there's a picture in there for buildings and spec buildings, and we
Yeah.
could do any and all of them.
What are you thinking, Rick? period of time.
I said no, I mean, obviously no less than 5 years, but like 5 to 7 would be fine, I mean.
So comfortably 7 is what you're saying.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
I mean, no sense cutting yourself
right,
thin for additional 2 years, if that
Right.
makes you comfortable at 7.
Right.
Well, yeah, especially if it's 0%.
0%.
right.
I like free money. I don't know about anything else. By the way, you do personal
Great.
stuff?
Yeah. Well,
It wasn't a no. but-
Yeah, you didn't say no, did it?
How long the county wants it on their books also,
what's the
so.
life expectancy of the squad?
At least 10 years for us. So our truck that is 10 years old has 106,000 miles on it right now, and it'll go to a reserve status. So if we have a truck that has to go into the shop or something like that, we can pull it out and use it. So for us, 10 years, 10, 12 years.
Did I understand that is the replacement going to our emergency management?
So the truck that is 10 years old will go to reserve status, and then that will house some of the dive team equipment. And then the trailer that we currently have is gonna be transferred to
EMA.
EMA to be used for the mobile command center once they
Cool.
do all that, so. And we were hoping we would have our truck by then, but we will still make the provisions to get that to EMA
Mm.
this summer so they can start doing their stuff, so we'll leave stuff around.
And Chip, because this is a grant, it doesn't affect our bond rating or anything like that for future projects, correct?
That's something we're gonna have to look into a little more.
It is not a grant to you, it's a loan.
It's a loan.
So I think we should
So,
on our books.
yeah, it would encumber Knox County's credit to the tune of $320,000.
But that's a
Pittance.
pretty small number
Mhm.
in comparison to what we're,
And
Commissioner,
either way, we would be doing something to purchase.
Yes, sir.
that's all right. Commissioner, you'd mentioned what is the value to the utility being involved here? And I think there's 2 parts. One is we're accessing federal dollars to the local community.
For now, anyway.
Yes,
While we can.
while we can. And I think that's probably the first and foremost thing. We have that access, and I think that's the important part. As noted, we are also paying for the consultant fees. We are putting our members' money into the 60 grand. So we are vested in this process as well, but we feel that that's a value to the membership or the communities that we serve. And that's one of our goals as a cooperative. So you were asking of those things, and I think that back
Yeah,
to that point, those are the real things that we're here for. We're a not-for-profit organization, and one of those goals is to be a community.
The first grant we did was with Samoka over in the Marengo area, the southern Morrow County sewer. That's where they got their money from, was from us, so, and the Jackfish River.
Well, Rick, I think you did a good job reaching out and finding some stuff here.
It just happened to,
Be partners.
on another project, we happened to start talking, and
Is that the Ackerman?
yeah, it
Yeah,
was
we were at Ackerman.
But the
We donated a pole for the
Osprey.
Osprey pole,
Hmm.
but it's the nest. So,
so I guess commissioners at this point, if you want us to keep working, I'll work with Chip on.
I'd say my vote is we move forward.
And I concur with that.
I do too.
Thank you,
for-
thank you all very much.
Our pleasure.
Appreciate.
Our pleasure to be a.
Nice job, Rick. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Chip.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you, everyone. Yes.
Nice job, Chip.
No.
It's supposed to.
Real quick, you were off the top of my head, but we'll circle back on that. A sample already. What it might look like. Okay, thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Now paperwork,
Yeah, just whatever we typically look for, yeah.
and get that.
Don't speed.
This one is per day.
Do we have any?
Thank you. Thank you for being here, and letting us be here today. Oh, yes, yeah, sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Gentlemen,
gentlemen.
thank you.
Oh, pleasure, good question.
Appreciate it.
Have a great day.
So that concludes all the business that I'm aware of. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second,
Stand adjourned at this time. Everyone have a great weekend.
Happy Father's Day.
happy Father's Day, Bill, Jason,
And then here's those. Next.
maybe in the future, Andrew?
We still on?
What's that?
We still on?
No.
You're saying no, but we're still there.
I think we are. Happy Father's Day.